crypto nation and mining family. What's going on? What up, what up, what up? Sorry for being late. Chickens decided to knock over the water dish right after I filled it. I turned, I looked, I heard like a little pecking noise. I'm like, tink, 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 and I'm like, and the whole water thing was on its side, spilling out everywhere, messing up all the wood chips. So I very quickly cleaned the water out, cleaned up their bedding really quickly, and here we are. So what's going on? What up, what up? What's going on, Crypto Bedell? We got automatic boots in the house. We got Gundy stuff and things. What's up, Budweiser? Yo. It's like, Bedell, of course, just as you go live, my buddy stops by. BRB. No problem, dude. No problem. Yo. Pepe gonna make me a Honduri. I don't even know how to. Hondurier? A multi-millionaire? Gonna be a Pepe billionaire. Yo, I watched all the ads. Yo, you don't really have to, but thank you, my dude. Thank you, thank you. So what is going on, everybody? He's like, I don't get any ads. Not sure why. Are you using YouTube Premium? Because if you're using YouTube Premium, that's what I use YouTube Premium because I don't want to see ads. I just want to be like, pink, here we go, cool. I mean, considering I think it's like, what, 10, 12 bucks a month, whatever. It's my only real monthly expenditure. I'm down. Is that a Dawn of the Doge t-shirt? Ugh. Maybe. Yes, it is, sir. It's like, I like it. No premium, just checked, but BRB. That t-shirt is hard as AF. Yeah, buddy. Bro, I'm OG, triple OG. I mean, I'm not like OG, you know, where I don't go back too far. I think Panda's been into it just a little, like Panda and Voscoin have been into it just a little longer than me, but not by much. You're talking a few months. Like, my internet sucks today. Damn, that sucks, John Germain. Well, hopefully it holds up to be able to watch this. Yo. So, hopefully everybody's having a great day. Certainly smash that lizardy like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the bell notification, and all that good stuff, guys. Yo. Let's just dive right on into things. Yo. Hey, my camera's not on. Let's see here. Should be that one. Hey, bam, there we go. Because I had it all set up for gaming on Friday, which means that it's looking for this camera, which I have off. And it's got a physical switch to turn it off, so there is no... I'm going to turn it back on. No, sirree. Not on my watch. So, as we see here, it is a flippin' bloodbath in the markets. Very few things are going to see anything that they can consider profits or being up. Most things are going to be either trading out sideways or they're going to be overall in the red. Some of this is due to like some FUD in the market surrounding Binance. being fined by the SEC. I think Department of Justice is coming after them now for evading Russian sanctions. Very interesting stuff. I mean, you're talking about the largest Bitcoin or crypto exchange out there. If you guys are on Binance at all, this might be your sign that you want to sit there and oh, thanks, I said. You might be looking at the possibility of getting your stuff off of that exchange and possibly not using it moving forward. If the Department of Justice, it's kind of weird how Binance is set up here, guys. Binance is set up in a way where they have the American side and they've got their international side. So if the U.S. government is going to try to say that the international side still has to follow the same rules and regulations that the U.S. side has, I believe that would be an overreach in my viewpoint, because the international is not trying to do business inside the United States. The U.S. side has its own department separate from Binance International. So not sure how it's like if it's from the Binance US side, they're screwed. If it's from the Binance International side, I think this is government overreach, and they don't have the jurisdiction to hit the international side of the business. But in the meantime, because it's fresh in the news, this could be some of the bloodbath that we are seeing right now. We're talking about the largest crypto exchange out there, where you can get all these amazing poop coins. Pepe is down. I mean, everybody's been talking about Pepe because it's up 105% in the last 7 days, but it has just pulled back. We'll call it 27%. Yep, it just flipped 27% as we're speaking. This one is gonna pop and then it's gonna drop. We're about to watch the other side of this one. It's kind of funny that it even made it up into the top 50 of the performers. But I think it's just because it's another meme coin. Meme coins seem to be pretty big this round for some reason. Maybe that might be the new craze. This bull run season is going to be all the meme coins, because if it's not Bitcoin, it's a joke, and you got to know it's a joke. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. What's your guys' thoughts on that? But yeah, I mean, you sit there and you can kind of float right down here. There's really no good performers. Everybody's taking a bloodbath with Bitcoin. I mean, unless there's something that I'm missing here, there's nothing that's going to sit here and flip Bitcoin, not even Ethereum. I mean, Bitcoin takes a pullback, so does Ethereum. In the 7 days, Ethereum is still up. But in comparison, yeah, it's pulling back hard in the 24-hour period, and it is going to still come back down further, which is going to wipe out the last 7 days. So if you haven't taken profits in the last 7 days, they might be getting eviscerated here. Not sure. Like, damn, I shut my rigs down for the second time this past week. Damn. I know I'm considering shutting some rigs down myself, just because it's like it's not paying the electric bill behind it. It's like, I can let somebody else run power while I'm shut down. You know, it's like, like it's not. I mean, the yield is pretty decent. I mean, that much I'll sit there and say. Yield is great right now. But overall, you know, if you've got to pay your electric bill with this, oh God, guys, you're taking a bloodbath. It's like if you're 12 cents per kilowatt hour and up on older hardware, yeah, you're probably shutting it down. It's like that's the name of the game. That's exactly what the name of the game is. All these mineable coins are going to take a pullback now. Totally understandable. It's like as less and less people are mining, you're going to have less movement. It'll find a ground floor from the people that are still involved. Once it hits the ground floor, you're probably going to be looking at the next bull run, right? And that's where I kind of come into it. You want to know what the rest of the market's going to be doing. We look at Bitcoin. That sweet busy Bitcoin, right? What have I been saying this whole time? We are mapping out for this perfect wave. And we're still waving. And the wave will sit there and tighten up and we'll trade out sideways. So we're sitting here and we're still waving. And here it is. I've got what I think should be around where it's going to wave around. It can sit there and dip below. It's fine. From a mining perspective, this looks like the whole market is about to explode. And I do not think to the downside, guys. Mining hash rate is way up. I should have actually pulled up that. Let's see. I should have actually have pulled this up. I don't like that chart. That was that the wrong one? Let's see here. Is this the one that I liked? No. That's node. Oh, that's the lagging one. I think it's the Coin Wars one that let's see here. There we go. So here is coinwars.com. And you can see, since January of 2020 up until now, this was the China's hash. When China did the mining ban on it, it came down. It has thus then recovered, and we have been going up a lot. The hash rate has finally leveled off. We are on an uptrend here. We haven't returned to the all-time high hash rate. I give you that, of 400 exahash a second. But where we're at right now, we are at 330.78 exahash a second. So, and it's been on the rise, guys. And if you zoom in on this chart, you can see that we've just been with the Bitcoin price pulling back. We're going to sit there and see a little bit of a diminishing hash rate as older miners are being traded out right now. I have seen a lot of older miners, guys, a lot of them. So there is a lot of hardware sitting off on the side that's being refurbished and moved around, and there are buyers of all of this equipment. So I've been in, where I was taking my classes, I watched S9 hash boards come in. I thought those things were like a thing of the past. I mean, they brought in a whole pallet of these bad boys to be repaired and whatever it needs to be done. Like, damn, it's like summer rates in Tucson 13.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Those idiots want to pay for 15-minute cities with higher electric rates. Reduce cars by 40% by 2030. Oh, you're in one of those progressive spots, dude. No kidding. Your area has gone nuts. You need to move out of there. Let those poor schlubs that vote for that garbage keep that all to themselves. And it sucks, but pretend your house burnt down and move. I mean, what would you do if your house burnt down? I mean, how hot does the fire have to get before you move? Metaphorically speaking, of course, right? It's like, if you know the area you're in is really bad, it's like, what would it take for you to make that decision and be like, yep, that's it, I'm done, move. And pretend that just happened. Otherwise, you're going to end up dealing with it. It sucks. I see it happening here in Chicago. So, yeah, I really do. We just hired in somebody. They voted in somebody more progressive than the last person. Yay. And that's going to cause energy prices all over the place to go up. We don't want energy independence here. We want energy dependence, which is a lot more expensive if you can't control the means of production of your own energy. And therefore, you're going to want to, in Biden's wanting to bring in legislation that's going to make it to where if you're a known Bitcoin miner, that your electric charge is going to be 30% higher. Because they're trying to control the idea of who gets to use the power. And if you do get to use the power, you might not always be able to get the best rate, which means that they're not going to ban it. They're just going to regulate it to death and make sure that they fall behind on the on the whole technological front of crypto itself. I think it's a bad move on their part, but I guess they know how to destroy an economy a lot more effectively than me. So, but overall, I think that with the way that Bitcoin is going, I think we are going in a good place. Yes, it did print out a sell signal on this candle, but I think that we might be running out of a little bit of steam here. I think at these levels, there's enough people buying and enough people selling to just keep it going sideways for a little bit longer. And as it does that, the MA moving ribbon will tighten up, and that's what we're wanting to see, is that good tightening of that MA ribbon. The more that ribbon recoils, typically you have more of a chance of an upward movement. I mean, it's not the end all be all, but a lot of times the longer it coils, the more energy it's storing up to go upward. We've seen a little bit of a breakout here. Hopefully that's not setting up for the trend that's about to happen, that we are going to slide down a little bit further, test a lower level, and then start coming back up. We'll have to see how all of this goes. Shall be very interesting with how this market is going to be moving forward. I mean, for home miners, a lot of you guys, as long as you're paying for the electricity out of pocket, it's going to be a know-nothing sandwich to you. You're gonna stack sats and hodl. For anybody that's using it to pay the electric bill too, this could be setting up to hurt you a little bit. And then if you're sitting there at higher electric rates, this already hurts. So, it's like sometimes the best idea is to shut power down temporarily and ride out the little storm and see, because like if you're sitting there spending $1,000 a month on electric and you're only pulling back in $900, you think it's wise to sit there and shell out an additional $200 in power? I mean, if you're just paying that out of what you're making at your job, totally different situation. Making sure that it didn't just knock over the water. I'm watching you, girls. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see where the market's going to go, especially for us mining guys that are living off of that as busy Bitcoin. This may be setting up to hurt just a little bit, just poquito. And then, of course, guys, certainly smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Share this out on your favorite social medias. So let's go ahead and get into the whole thumbnail, right? It's like that goofy little cooler. So if none of you guys watch DeBauer on YouTube, he's got an English and a German side. He is also one of the CEOs for Thermal Grizzly. And he also does CNC machining and stuff like that. So coolers and direct die mounts. And he does a lot for the PC industry. Very cool guy. He ended up testing out a couple of really funky, I guess, less than optimum cooling solutions that are on AliExpress for backplate cooling, right? So let's take a look at them. I mean, I could sit there and also rip this apart also, and we'll go ahead and dive into some of that, right? So they were putting on this kind of cool concept, I guess, of a copper stack with a couple of fans in there, strapped onto your back plate of your GPU with a thermal interface between the two, and stuck onto the back. Those back plates, they do get hot. I will admit this. Those back plates do particularly get hot. So this is the back side of that same copper thing. So it's flat copper. I wouldn't worry about the graining on there from them flattening it out. Usually something like that is less, especially with the thermal pad. I wouldn't worry about it. Sometimes I like to see it a little flatter. To me, the flatter the better. And the smoother the better. But it is copper. It is very easy to have like the world's finest micro scratches, and you'll buff that thing away to nothing before you finally get the last scratch out. So I get it. So I'm not worried about that aspect at all. And then this was the thumbnail, guys. So this one I guess had the better performance per se, but it's ugly. It's hideous. I'm just saying, this thing is absolutely hideous, and they rubber band this fan onto it. This one had the best performance out of all of them, though. Okay, so this one got it down to about 6970C from about 74C on the back plate. This one, improved it by 1C. That I'm not gonna. That could be a rounding error at that point. So it's like, wow, these are terrible. They certainly are, Gun. They certainly are. Now we're only talking about the backplate, guys. Now, did it change performances on anything? Not really. With the copper backplate on there, the fan speed was up about 30 RPM. With this heat pipe thing, it was about 15 RPM higher, but the temperature was a little lower. So in some areas, it was probably harboring a lot more heat, causing that fan to ramp up a little bit more, and you're adding in a fourth fan to try to cool this thing. Now, it's not like you need to do this in any way, shape, or form. I have never seen a GPU like actually thermal throttle from not having active cooling on the back. Now, if you're wanting to have active cooling on the back, your better bet is to actually water block your whole thing and have it where you have the active cooling on the back side of the whole GPU itself, like I did. So all the crucial components on the back side of that GPU all have active water cooling on there. So the back sides of the memory, the PCB for where the memory module goes, the back side of where the VGA core goes, power rails, so your MOSFETs are staying a little cooler on there. That's a better proposal for what this is offering here. Even with this offering right here, which was the better, it reduced it improved cooling by a few degrees, but it also had higher fan speed. So there was a trade-off with this. It's like, wait, until they send inspectors to your house and tell you have to spend thousands to replace gas stoves and furnaces, and you have to, yeah. Oh my God, John. Yeah, I don't even want to think about. I would think that there would be, how can I say it, a national divorce by that time, and there will be safe places to go where people are not crazy. Yeah, otherwise there probably will be this other thing like we've done in the past history, you know, more than 100 years ago, called a civil war. Maybe, I'm not sure. But I really hope it doesn't come down to that, John. But if so, we all have to agree where we're going to set up the new Freedom Bitcoin City. This way we can have all of us cool community members here all there at the same time, be like, oh, no. This is a homesteader economy where we actually barter trade. It's like, John, you made off-grid solar the only way. Yeah. Now, if only, you know, I would be more on the off-grid solar if we weren't dependent on Chiggity China for those same very solar panel cells. I would feel better even if it was made in Mexico versus China. But I wish there was. Damn video falling behind live time. Yeah, batteries are 90% made in that Chiggity China also, guys. So the pure electric lifestyle we're not ready for here in the United States. By far. I don't think there's any country that's truly ready for that. I think we're too early in the technology, even to this date, because nobody's ever put money into it. And it seems like they're trying to force people to put money into it to make it happen, and I don't think it's having the result that people thought it was going to have if you just force everybody to, you have to use electric now. Well, where are we getting our electric from? We'll figure it out later. And then we'll ban everything that we don't like using our power, and then it'll free up all the power we need, right? You have to also ban out all the industries that are using lots of power to free it up, so that these politicians are going to have to follow their own rules at some point. It'll be an interesting one. Like, right, we not ready, not at all, not at all. And I'm a realist. I would love to see a renewable energy resources taking off and flourishing, but we are so far from being there. It is unreal. It's like until that day happens where it's like we are producing in an abundance of renewable energy, then I'll be like, all right, it's time, But until then, I mean, look at California. They pushed electric and they got it. We'll wait until 2035. That's when their experiment really kicks off. Can California handle having a fully electric grid by 2035? I'm going to sit there and say no. And they're not going to have enough power generation, and they are not going to have enough clean resources for it all. So it'll be an interesting one. It will be an interesting one. But anywho, to this, So going after cooling solutions for backplates is gimmicky at best. Even putting a static radiator onto the back of these things is not going to be good enough. The problem is that a lot of people don't think about is there's a gap between the backplate and the PCB. Okay, so these PCBs and the backplate have a gap between them. And of course, if they're good, they're gonna put thermal pads between the where the pieces interface to the backplate. So they're gonna try to use the aluminum backplate. A lot of them are aluminum for heat dissipation. Like my 3090s, they're actually got my EVGA 3090 XE3 have heat pipes built into the backplate because they're trying to maximize the amount of heat radiation out of the backplate on this thing, right? So you're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slap on another cooler on here, right? Now, between the backplate and the PCB, there's already a sizable distance, and a lot of times they've got thicker pads in there. You got the thicker pads interfacing into a aluminum backplate, interfacing now into another thermal pad, interfacing into a copper plate, interfacing into the copper pipes. At some point in time, you're going to have a diminishing return, and you're going to have more of an insulator that's going to stop that heat from radiating forward, or radiating out the back and push it more forward. So you're going to heat soak the items a little bit harder. So he put the probe in between the PCB and the backplate to measure it there. But because of the fact that the cooling fans on the GPU itself, with both coolers, both ramped up. That ramping up is showing that there's more of a heat load that's being detected through the card side now, which is forcing a lot of that heat to go forward, which, in my opinion, causes the whole device to basically be a heat brick, and the cooler on the back was not really being an effective tool for cooling it. Being more of a heat soaking device, because you've got so much interface in between the PCB and air. If there was any benefit from putting a cooling device onto the backside of this card. I think the manufacturers would typically do that, especially on their higher end cards. It's usually the weird and obscure cards that you typically see with the extra fans on there, like the two at the very top of the fan of the GPU that do nothing. Zotac has made a couple where there's fans on the backside of it, right behind the VGA core. And I've always kind of wanted to grab them because they were AIB partner specifically made, and it wasn't jerry-rigged like this thing. Which, you know, makes them rare because of the fact that you're not going to see too many of those out in the wild. And they were, you know, gimmicky at best, guys. At best. It's like, because of the fact that you have so much interface between that PCB and the, if you're wanting to take the cooler, the backplate off, and then slap the whole thing onto the backplate, onto the PCB like that, you're going to see more of a benefit, in my opinion, than having the backplate there. But mounting that down with enough pressure and all that good stuff too, without interfering anything else on the fans, I'm not sure how they would do that. So, interesting, but, you know, does not work. And here comes for the title of today's video, what I was referencing on. You know, Bitcoin gives better discounts than Nvidia does, right? So here it is, Nvidia 4080 now available $90 below MSRP. Like, I really don't care. This, in my opinion, because it seems more of a refresh of the 3080 with a little bit of a better ray tracing ability on it. Big flipping deal. Being a refresh and of lower quality in a lot of cases versus having a 3080. This thing should be like a, you know, I still think that this is about $300 to $400 still too expensive for what little performance you're really getting out of the next generation. This generation was just straight up a money grab. Because they're like cut down GPUs with better ray tracing on it. So it's like, oh, if you can't afford a 4090, you get a refresh. And I don't think that that's the right move that Nvidia should be taking at this point. And I hope more people decide to vote with their dollars and not continue to shop with these people until they come off their high horse. Because this is definitely price gouging, price fixing, however you want to put it, from them. It's like talking to vendors and stuff like that. The vendors' profit margins are next to nothing. Then why are all these GPUs so expensive? Because yeah, you have Nvidia sitting there. We already know that they've been holding back inventory to produce scarcity, and scarcity will cause price to go up. So it's like, I think that this card should be like a $700 to $800 card. In my opinion, it's an 80 class GPU. I don't see them offering enough performance on this thing to compare to my 3080s outside of ray tracing. But again, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a 4K monitor. I got a 1440p and two 1080p's. So what is this 4080 going to do for what I conceive is $400 too much for a new GPU? And being that it's a PNY, I think that this thing should be probably about a $650 to $750 card. That's my opinion again, because it's a PNY. To me, I look at PNY and I think of them being a lower class, more budget friendly brand, and they're charging $1,100. No, thank you. Yo, what up, MC? Yeah, or paid for the price for a closed loop cooler, exactly, and you would have been far better off with an EK block on here. So 100%, John, 100%. But the EK blocks, you're gonna spend a little bit for active backplate cooling, though. You're gonna be, a $400 cooler for a GPU, and that's where it makes even more sense that hey, that card should be, especially on this card here. If you're gonna spend for active cooling on the backplate, this card needs to be $400 less. I'm just saying. I know it's a personal rant. That they keep on. They're noticing that nobody's buying their GPUs, so they're like, oh well, we'll just give them a little extra off. And then they sit back and they see the few people nibble on it, and then they do another price drop, real small price drop. And I see them doing this all through summer, just these small little walkbacks on the pricing coming down. I mean, there's going to be a point where people are just going to be like, yeah, no, for what you're giving us, it's not worth the value anymore. And then they're going to come out with a new GPU, and they're going to have the 5080 going up for $1,500. It's like, good God. I mean, this is the math that Jensen is doing, is that, over time, it's like, oh, yeah, my number go up, right? It's like, not if you don't like Bitcoin. And I always like small little projects and stuff like that. It kind of makes me laugh whenever I see stuff. So Windows 11 running entirely from VRAM. Modder and software developer NT Dev demonstrates the capability of a modded Windows 11 operating system that he created called Tiny 11. This stripped down operating system with a limited memory requirements, thanks to a third-party tool called GPU RAM Drive. He managed to store the whole system on a laptop GPU memory. This tool creates a RAM disk, which in the case is stored on VGA memory, not system memory like similar tools. The Tiny 11 OS install does not require more than 4 gigabytes of space, which is why it can fit onto a GeForce RTX 3050 laptop GPU, 4 gigabyte buffer easily. Of course, the OS stored this way needs standard system memory to work, but this demonstrates that the VGA memory is now capable of delivering very fast and quick deployment of the operating system. And this is possible with the very high sequential read-write speeds, as well as the 1900 megabytes per second read-write speed, the 2400 megabytes per second, and up to 2400 megabytes per second. However, it is worth noting that the RTX 3050 is the lowest tier in the Ampere mobile lineup that has only has 14 gigabytes of memory attached to a 128-bit bus. So know that it would work better on faster VRAM, but they were able to do it with a slower tier, which is kind of cool. Does it do anything for mining guys? I don't know. I would love to get a hold of this person and ask him if he could get it to mine, and just to get numbers on it. because like mining Monero, because it's not being the system is not being run on the CPU. Does it free up resources on the CPU and allow you to have more threshold? RAM's usually not an issue. Most people build PCs with more RAM than they need. So the RAM requirement wouldn't be a problem, but the CPU allocation, if everything's running off the GPU, can I overclock it a little bit harder, and can I get more hash rate on Monero? That would be a pretty good question. I know. That's why I kind of dog on PNYMC. PNY, it to me is just like hey, at least you're in a new tier GPU. That to me is what PNY offers the consumer. Not that it's the best performer, the most efficient performer, but at least you're in the new tier. So you're getting a lot of the benefits from it, but there are better out there overall, right? So PNY only being discounted $90 on a 30 on an 80 class, going for $1,100. Yeah, no, thank you. That's why those GPUs have been sitting on shelves. Yes, sir. This one I thought was kind of cool. I've never seen anything like this before. Unfortunately, it was only out in people living in China, but it's kind of cool to mention. Colorful was offering up to $1,000 for used GeForce RTX GPUs when buying new cards. Like a trade-in program, trying to reduce e-waste. I'm sure that they were sitting there and reselling them, repurposing them, which if that's as long as that's what Colorful was doing, bro, I love it. I wish that they would do that more worldwide instead of just locally. But this is this is for them, so we can't complain too much. But it was a way to reduce some e-waste. So 1660 Super they were giving back basically $108. A 2060, $130. A 3060 12 gigabyte, $253. This is USD. A 3070 Ti, $390. A 3090 Ti, you were getting $1,041 for that. A 3090, you got $810. A 3080 Ti, you were getting $622. If you would have bought that same 3080 Ti day one launch, you were paying $2,000 for it. At the height, the 3080 Ti came through the stupid craze of the whole GPU market, and anybody that bought a 3080 Ti day one launch, you paid upwards to $2,000. And this was being sold from places like Micro Center. So we're not even talking scalper prices on top of that. And they were only trading in $622 on a trade-in. So you basically took, a $1,300 haircut, trading up. So I mean, it's better. I guess it's for some people it's better than nothing. But I'm not sure if I'd be happy with some of those prices. A 3090 Ti, you were paying over $2,000 for it. Like, 2K. What the? Yep, MC. Day one launch. That thing went for, I mean, after taxes, it was just a pinch under $2,000. It was like 1900 something. I forget. What up, chump change? Oh yeah, yeah. EVGA was the only place that was selling a that you can buy them direct for vendor for the price that it was supposed to be. If you were like myself and went to Micro Center along with Nefarious Technology, because me and him were hitting up the Micro Centers hot and heavy trying to get GPUs. And I could never get one off of EVGA's website, so I never experienced paying proper price during the GPU craze. Oh my god. It's like, did that for my 3090, never again. Dun dun dun. I totally agree, dude. Oh my god. Nothing says I like overpaying for GPUs than going to Micro Center. Oh my god. Yeah, I tried like it so many different times to get onto that EVGA waiting list and never got a call during that whole craze. I was like, well, I got to get GPU some way. It is what it is, right? We all live and learn through the craze of the mining market. I mean, it's not like it didn't pay for itself in some fashion, so I guess I can't cry too much, right? Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, this was going on. They were doing like a buyback program. It is over now, but it was cool to sit there and see that they were that Colorful was helping to reduce e-waste overall. So pretty cool. Yo, what up, Crypto Bedell? Damn left-handed cigarettes. Damn. Sometimes they're like a time warp, dude. I'm just saying. And then we've got a Chinese company, PowerStar P3 CPU announced. It's almost got that old school like Lenovo freaking like plain Jane like server case, you know, like a desktop node. Oh god, EVGA tried to get you up with some scalper prices. That's some BS. And what's funny about the this Chinese company, it looks exactly like the Intels. I mean, even down to the test points. All of these little dots, they're like little probe points that you can sit there and probe out, more than likely, and see signal or voltage. Or you might be able to do some diode tests, going through the to make sure that the signal's coming out the right way. So interesting to see how this one is like fashioned identical to Intel. I mean, down to its little barcode on the PCB. The PCB is a little bit more blue. Intel's are a little bit more blue. I mean, well, Intel chips are made in-house also, but it's not, can't be that, you know, you can't say that Intel maybe not helping out at all, or maybe P-Star completely ripped off the one of their chips and reverse engineered it. Going live in a bit. Hold on here. Let me see if I can You know what? I don't know if I am subbed. I'm like showing you guys my OBS here. Let me see if I can push it to you. Let's see here. See here. No, not going live. Yeah, just general statement. Oh, okay. Well, if you were going live, I was gonna push everybody over. I was gonna be cool about it, right? The infinite you. Dude. You're cool peeps. I like you, dude. Hmm. So, yeah, I mean, going back to this, we definitely look like they're kind of ripping off Intel just a little bit here. I still think it's hilarious. China, like most people don't realize that China's IP right laws. So as long as they change enough of something, it's not violating your what you made as a product. So there are things that are copyrighted in other countries, not just here in the United States, that they're producing in China because they named it something else. It's like taking an NFT and changing one pixel and then reminting it. It's not the same as it was before because it's one pixel different. That's basically how China's laws are. As long as I'm not making the same thing and calling it the same thing, it's not the same thing. And here's another indication of that. So, unfortunately, it's something that Intel will have to deal with. Maybe, if they sit there and they get their hands on one of these chips and they do all the testing and it's basically an Intel under the hood that somebody reverse engineered, they can try to get the company to stop, but this is powered by China. This is a Chinese company. China owns part of this company, so this has got China's blessing right now. So I don't see the China government sitting there and being, how can I put it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see how that China's sitting there trying to shut something like this down, and they're going to be like, what are you going to do about it? This is our company. Yeah, yeah. Very interesting. And of course, I was already alluding to earlier that the U.S. Justice Department is investigating Binance for violating Russian sanctions. So be careful, guys, with dealing with Binance for right now. I knew that with the international side of it, as long as you're not onboarding and offboarding fiat and you're just transacting crypto to crypto, Binance on the international side really doesn't care. They will just stop you as an American citizen from accessing the international side because it's, quote unquote, to the government. It is illegal for us to do that, which is garbage. But whatever, that's not my decision nor of any of ours. So Binance has been may have been there's no there's no accusations against the company or its executives in connections with the investigation. The national security probe is being carried out in tandem with the criminal division investigation. The news service citing 5 unnamed sources, Binance is the object of several investigations in the United States, including a Department of Justice inquiry into the anti-money laundering violations. Binance limited services to Russia after sanctions were imposed onto the country in April of 2022. It still continued to operate there, blocking only areas of Ukraine that were no longer under government control and servicing only non-sanctioned individuals, according to the company executive speaking to Cointelegraph. In other words, he was like, we were only transacting with the people that we were already knew were white flagged underneath our system. We didn't transact with anybody else. It's basically what he was saying. Binance has also been accused of KYC and AML violations in suit by the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commissions back in March. The company did not reply immediately to an inquiry to Cointelegraph, but told Bloomberg in a statement that it was compliant with the U.S. and international sanctions and KYC protocols. In those of traditional banking, every customer is subject to identity and residency checks, it said furthermore. This all at the same time that they've also slowed down people being able to take their crypto off of Binance now. So Binance has frozen assets. They don't have all the Bitcoin. So Binance halts withdrawals for the second time in 12 hours. Interesting. And then, you know, we see the price dropping out like that, right? And Binance is halting withdrawals for the second time in 12 hours. The crypto exchange says it temporarily closed its Bitcoin withdrawals due to large volume of pending transactions. The crypto exchange halted Bitcoin withdrawals for the second time on May 8th, citing large backlog of pending withdrawals. Binance tweets on May 8th that it's closed off Bitcoin withdrawals temporarily as there was a large volume of pending transactions. It added the transactions were still pending as it sets fees and did not anticipate the recent surge in the Bitcoin network gas fees. So the gas fees went up and Binance doesn't want to pay it. That's what I heard. I heard blah 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 blah. Binance doesn't want to get screwed over with the withdrawal fee. So, because the gas fees are too high, they're now going to halt they're going to halt anybody from moving any of their stuff off the centralized exchange that's now operating identically to the banking system that we don't trust. Oh my God, I haven't heard that guy's name in a hot minute. Chico Crypto. Does he still have the beard? I haven't seen that California hippie in a hot minute. But yeah, I've been sitting there and saying to remove your stuff off of Binance. You can go back almost a year. I have been saying that Binance is not doing good. Binance, since they had that whole hack, since they were, Seifu, they've been having issues since. And if you think that FTX was a fluke, if you think that all of them, they're not sitting there and you think Celsius was a fluke, you have another thing coming. All these exchanges are doing this. They are taking your Bitcoin and betting against you. Just saying. Where, you know, it's like they this is where they make their money. It's just that during a down market, they can't afford it. So why not temporarily close Bitcoin withdrawals instead of letting a bank run happen? It's not that we don't have it. We just don't want to have you pay for high gas fees. It's okay, right? Not your keys, not your cheese. Yo. Money laundering and who is Donald Duck and who is Mickey Mouse in the KYC. Exactly. So now we see that Binance is having issues again. Their stable coins are having issues. That they've halted transactions on that for a while because the banks were closed and it was the weekend and they couldn't do anything about it. Please, I've heard better excuses. This is supposed to be a multi-million-dollar company. You just do it. It is what it is. You make it happen. And when you can't make it happen, it shows that how insolvent you really are. So the way I look at it is that all these exchanges are just as insolvent as every bank out there. One small little pinprick and these bad boys are gone. Gone, right? So yeah, I mean, I hate to be doom and gloom on that one, but yeah, guys, if you have your stuff on Binance, figure out what you need to do to get it out of there. Do not leave your Bitcoin or any crypto on Binance. This exchange looks like it might have a meltdown. There's all, I mean, not saying that it's gonna, but it has all the signs of it doing it. You know, been in Bitcoin, you know, in the crypto space long enough to recognize when you see something bad setting up again. And imagine what it would look like if Binance blows up. The largest exchange blows up, guys. Crypto is going to go into a massive crypto winter. Massive. Yeah, UTXO is stuck because it's not enough gas. Yeah, $35 to send to send Bitcoin right now. And some of that is because crypto price is down, difficulties up, and some miners have come off the network. So now there's not enough miners on the network to process transactions. So if you want your transaction processed during these times, it's going to be more expensive to utilize. What question did you ask, dude? What question you got, Vincent? Ducking your comments. What comments you got, my dude? This is the first time I'm seeing you comment live here. Not really. Shaved mostly. Haircut. Broadcasting from Brazil. A bunch. What suggestion you got? Because sometimes YouTube doesn't show me comments. Or you can DM me in Discord. That'll guarantee it goes right to me. Because I might not have seen it. I will go into here right meow. Because I did not see that. Comments. Any of them hit? Any of anything I've missed here? Now I will send it to you on Discord, family mine. Yeah, you can either DM me on Discord directly or post a comment in the family mine. I'm just saying, man, I usually try to make sure that I answer all the comments and questions and all that stuff, but there's times where a comment or a question comes up and it's like 3 years old. It's like, thank you, YouTube. I'm sure this guy probably thinks I'm a real D-bag now because I never, I had somebody write out this whole thoughtful thing on a coin, and it was like 3 years later I get shown from you by YouTube. It's like, holy cow, dude. Sorry, my dude. It was not done on purpose. I swear. I swears to God. I swears. I swears. Thank you for believing me, Vincent. It's totally F, dude. It's totally it's a bunch of it's F'd and a bunch of BS, dude. I'm just saying. Like if it makes if YouTube's gonna censor something, it should give me the option to at least see what just got censored. It's garbage. It is. It is. It truly is. You always bang on, even when you're wrong, you end up being right. It's like a conspiracy theory, right? You could spit out a conspiracy theory and you just wait 6 months and you're right. So I mean, was it a conspiracy theory or were you just early? I try to do as much due diligence and I there's certain things I understand business wise. There's certain things that I being in this crypto space, I have so much doubt in this industry that it causes me to really go out of my way to question stuff sometimes. Early, 100%. Yeah, and it's like, and I try to like not be like dogging on a company. I really wish that we would see better actors in the crypto space. That I mean, since 2018, I have seen scam after scam after scam in this industry, and I end up. Vincent, it is Nemesis. So, does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? Anybody got any other comments or questions at all? And expect to see like some like homestead farming video style from my house, my little humble abode here. I'll be doing like a video of a walk around. It was raining today, so I'm not taking my camera gear out there to yeah. Not in the rain. My stuff's not all waterproof like that. So, and then I should be releasing a video here for a chicken update, and then I got to do another. I have to finish doing the updating on the other chicken video. Fudweiser ignores Vincent. You're so mean. You're so mean, Fudweiser. So does anybody else have any other comments or questions? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead, head up out of here. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh, you're going to get the...
Shots fired! Shots fired!
That's a shots fired, dude. That is definitely a shots fired from Vincent Gallo to that Fudweiser. Vincent telling Fudweiser to have a Bud Light Fud. Network Bits couldn't have done it better. Oh man, what did I miss? You missed everything. All right. With that being said, thank you everybody for being here, all that good stuff. If you are new here, certainly join the Discord, links down below. If you would also like to have your rigs hosted over at the Family Mine LLC, get into the Patreon links down below. Get into the pseudo hasher tier, guys. Yo, helps us out, gives you a perk in the long run, guys. So check it all out. Love to have you there. If you don't want to have your rigs hosted at the Family Mine, that's fine. That's fine. Certainly join the Discord. It's free. Love to have all you awesome hashers be a part of the community. It is an awesome community. Those who are part of it already know how awesome this community is. So much love in this community. It's awesome. So if you guys are looking for car problems, gaming issues, crypto problems, or PC issues, we have a great group of people in the Discord that'd be able to help you out in any area. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Certainly drop some FAs in the Chizity chat, guys, because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo! And remember, don't just click off the video at the very end. Click off on one of the suggested videos that YouTube has, and then turn off YouTube and go about your day, because that helps out the YouTube algorithm. I'm just saying, those who've been helping out with it I can appreciate every one of you. Thank you. You're actually helping changing the YouTube algorithm just a little bit with me. So thank you, everybody. And with that being said, hey, it's Sadie. What's up? Yeah, John, we've all been scammed a time or two. It's like I've seen a thing or two about a thing or two. Pepperidge Farm remembers. It's like a time or two this week. Hell yeah. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. Yo.